Hi, and welcome to the Interiors Insider podcast by AGC. I'm Tara, stepping in for Tori while she's off on mat leave. I can't wait to hear what today's special guest will share with us. So here we go. Good morning, ladies. Hi, we have Natalie and Despina from Etté here this morning joining us. I suppose before we start, I'd like to maybe just, our listeners would like to hear a little bit about you two before we actually talk about Etté and how fabulous it is. So over to you, ladies.
Hi, I'm Despina. I come from a background in set design and interior styling, and so I've been doing that for about 15 years, long time. And before that, I was a textile designer, so I've always loved working with colour and putting colour together. And we met, I think, in about 5-6 years ago. Whilst working on a project that Natalie kind of commissioned me for.
Yeah, so I'm Natalie, and my background is in branding and trend forecasting. And then I set up Caro Somerset, which was a shop in Bruton, Somerset, and it's also a B&B and event space, things like that. And that's how we met, because when I had my second baby and I moved location, I asked Despina to help me restyle my new space, and that involved lots of colour, actually.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, and we worked together on art directing something for Caro as well, and we just always shared a passion for colour and realised that we had our sort of colour values and aesthetic
really similar.
aligned. So that is how Etté was sort of born.
Really amazing. So you've always, I suppose, been kind of drawn to colour in that way? Is that kind of correct? Has it always been a part of what you do?
I think we've both had the experience of how colour can kind of really impact a space and your emotions and how people move around those spaces, especially kind of when we work together in retail space.
Well, yeah. And also you're very theatrical art directing as well, doing the set design, you know, that impact of how colour can affect. Well, it's just very impactful. And again, with the psychology in retail, I've seen so many people come in and see how they absorb colour and buy into colour and get affected by colour and work with it in window display and even when I've come to like buying collections, it's been interesting how I've sort of worked with colour in that way as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there, I suppose, a kind of a set moment or project that really made you kind of think how important or impactful colour is?
I suppose, I guess on a personal level for me, it was a few years ago I was commissioned by Carl Hansen and Son, this amazing Danish kind of furniture manufacturer, to design their space at Milan Furniture Fair. And essentially that's kind of like designing a whole kind of apartment or space. And up to that point, they hadn't really used a lot of colour. It was very kind of muted. And they really wanted to kind of get more a younger audience, and also just to make a little bit more impact in their spaces during that design fair. So yeah, that I injected a lot of colour in the upholstery, in the kind of artwork we used in the space, and of course the walls and the surfaces, the tiles that we used in various spaces. So and that resulted in a lot more footfall, different customers, different ages, and so I think that on a personal level was when I saw it kind of take place in reality, which is amazing.
And for me, I think it's my personal home actually, because
Brilliant.
that's when I really played with colour, and also it's really hard. Our clients say this as well. It's really hard when you're designing for yourself or working with colour and trying to curate a colour palette yourself in your own home. It's it literally
drives you mad.
Yeah, impossible.
Yeah.
And I know that because I've done it for my own home. And for example, my hallway where the stairs are, I thought I painted 4 different shades of white. Like I painted it once and I was like, no, this isn't the one.
The whole staircase.
Yeah. Over 10 years.
I was about to say over a weekend. That was a busy time.
No. I couldn't. It was too much money to just keep repainting. But you know, you think you understand a white. Whites are really difficult to work with. So I think I know how I felt with different whites, just white, really showed a lot to me and taught me so much. And we were talking, you know, I started, this is like 13 years ago with my house. So that's how I really noticed the impact of colour and understood myself in relation to colour and what kind of colours that really resonate with me, how they make me feel, and how I can be playful in my own home and where I want to be playful and who's going to be in that room, in the spare room, for example. I'm not going to be in there, who's going to be in there. So, yeah, that's where I sort of really started to understand the impact of colour, yeah.
What a fun journey as well.
Still going.
Yeah. Yeah, it never finishes.
Yeah.
And I suppose when clients choose colours then, what are the biggest mistakes that they could make in their homes?
Well, we because we've made the same mistakes, we don't do them anymore. But I think lack of coherence is one thing. I think there's a common mistake of looking at one space in isolation and of forgetting all those spaces connected to it. So that might leave someone really frustrated, and so we always encourage our clients or help our clients look at a space, think about where those other rooms lead to and how they connect to each other and how they work together. And I would also say maybe lack of testing things out. You know, we get to know our clients through the objects they have existing, the artwork they have, the fabric they might have, and then we build on that as a starting point. And then encourage a lot of testing and a lot of living with things for a while rather than kind of rushing into things.
I can imagine that's quite a common mistake as well, isn't it? Because people are like, I just want it done. I just
Of
want it done
course,
now. I want it
yeah.
finished. I don't want this to
Yeah.
drag on.
Yeah.
And quite often they've been thinking about it for a very long time,
Exactly,
and they're just
yeah.
desperate to get it done.
Yeah.
I also think focusing too much on trends is a bit of an issue because we believe in colour for longevity. It's very easy. We all do it because you're used to seeing things, especially on social media. You're just used to
Bombarded,
seeing
aren't
like
you?
a
Yeah,
certain
so
trend,
much.
and it's hard to know sometimes what is a trend and what is. You know, we were just joking earlier, talking about this, you know, about sort of purpley browns and, you know, how we feel about those. And can we live without that colour? Both of us were like, yeah, probably in 5 years we'll think we can live without that colour. But we love it at the moment.
Yeah, because it's everywhere and it's
Yeah.
been used really, really well.
Really well,
hasn't it?
yeah. So I think I would sort of try, you know, we're all about understanding, you know, a person's blueprint around colour and what makes them them in terms of colour. So I think try and not look at trends and try and look at colour in relation to how you feel around it or in it.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. Thank you. And I suppose going on to that part, we talk about kind of well-being in interiors in general, kind of natural light, textures, etc. And how does colour, maybe we've covered it a little bit already, but how does colour kind of fall into that in terms of kind of creating rooms that kind of naturally make people feel good?
It's very much personal preference. I think that it definitely boils down to kind of, and that's what we're about when we're working with people, because, you know, lots of colours might give me a lot of energy, for instance, but not kind of the next person. So I suppose it's asking certain questions about, you know, because everyone's got their personal history. It could be environment, it could be cultural, and they have different memories associated with colour that they might want to take into their homes or not. So we do ask a lot of questions regarding how people want to feel in their spaces. Do they want to feel calm? Do they want to feel energized? Is a space for entertaining? So that's kind of makes it a little bit different when they choose colour. It's very kind of personal, but we have seen, and I think people are realising now that there's kind of even scientific back data of how it affects your emotions and it affects your mood in day-to-day life, and it can really improve both those things, which is like an amazing tool to use.
And like you said earlier with the flow, think of a palette for the whole house, or if you're talking about house, the whole space or the group of spaces you're working with. Don't just think about one room at a time and the sight line. So if you're looking at a room that's next to another room, how do those colours work with each other? Don't just think, I need to paint the spare room. Well, how does that work with the hallway colour? Lots of people forget about the hallway, whereas actually the hallway's a core of the house. So, when you're looking out of the room, how are the rooms you're looking at affecting each other? So, look at the flow. That is the flow, your sight line, where how each colour works with the others.
Yeah, and what time of day you might be using those rooms, how obviously orientation is a kind of major factor in that. Very personal, but all about kind of personal emotions towards different colours for sure.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I'm now thinking about my own home. I'll get home and start buying lots of
things. Are you more do you use vibrant colours or more muted neutrals?
I'm muted. I just love that kind of calming.
Yeah.
I mean, I love colour. I really, really appreciate it in other people's homes, and I think, oh God, I wish I would be more daring in my own home, but it just makes me feel so relaxed. Coming home at night in a really kind of calming space just is a great way, I find, to wind down. But sometimes I would like to inject a little bit more colour. I suppose moving away from the home and actually thinking about other spaces, commercial spaces, hospitality or office space, how do you approach the colour palette differently there?
I think it depends on the brief, with a commercial space, the brief is going to be very, very different. You've got things like footfall to consider, product. So how are you, do you need to heroise any product? Are you activating a space? Are you trying to guide people around the space?
Retail spaces, it kind of tends to be, obviously the product is the key, the brand is the second thing, and how you want your customers, who you want to grab to kind of come in, and how will they stay in that space. So it's got to tick a lot of boxes, and it's less about the individual emotions, isn't it, and more about kind of a group.
And with hospitality it's similar but different. You're trying to get people to sit in a space and eat for a long time. So how are you going to
make them feel comfortable,
make that possible? I mean, it's interesting. I was listening to a radio show about music and how people design spaces with music in mind. I can never say this word, Chipotle or Chipotle. Anyway, you know that high street brand?
I always say
and the music is designed at different times of day to try and get people out quicker because it's a very busy time, or to make people stay longer. And I was thinking, colour's quite similar in a way, how can we use colour in that way to change those consumer behaviours, basically.
I suppose there's a lot of research that has to go on in the background. That's probably the biggest piece, isn't it? By the time you actually get to your conclusion.
Definitely. And
that's fun.
Kind of, it is fun.
Understanding how people
the
work.
consumer,
and the brand and what they want to kind of project, And I guess in office spaces, it's, gosh, you've got a lot of people to kind of navigate, I think. So a lot of the time they have quiet areas where they, the colour needs to be a bit more grounded, where people might need to concentrate, and then other places where they want like the energy and the kind of maybe cross-pollination of ideas. So yeah, it's kind of quite a lot, but we do really enjoy the research. Yeah, for sure of it.
Well, this is all brilliant advice. I'm sure our listeners are loving it. Do you guys hold any actual workshops that people can attend, or any webinars, etc.?
We do. We do a colour masterclass. They're usually about 3 times a year. They're basically about 2 hours, very relaxed. And we go through kind of a few kind of study sections where we talk about light and orientation. We talk about sightline. We talk about flow and how you can use that. And then we have, in the middle of those, we have really fun play sessions where people observe colour and kind of can look at building their own personal palette and hopefully come out of it knowing and understanding what colours resonate with them. So yeah, we've had really good feedback from that, and it's kind of been a good learning curve for us as well.
And also the people that come along and that hire us, our clients, you'd think that it would always be people that don't know about colour, but actually the majority of our clients are people that work within art and design, and we've had sculptors, gallery curators, artists, interior designers. So that I think is really interesting, because we all have this feeling that we all should know our stuff, and we do know our stuff, just because you find you need someone to talk to about your decisions and all your ideas. Because I think that's the thing, is when you work within the industry and you're a creative person, you often either like loads of stuff and it's really hard to kind of hone it down into something, decide on 6 colours or whatever, or 1 colour. So I think it's really sort of empowering to let other people, almost say, look, it's okay to work with people around colour. It doesn't mean you're not that creative person. And Etté is a really good sort of place to come if you want to talk through your ideas. And also we're there to sort of, it's like, that friend that can be objective and just say, maybe you don't want to use that colour, but support and understand, where they're coming from. So going back to the masterclass again, these masterclasses are brilliant because we have interior designers there, we have
text,
or people that maybe just want a bit of inspiration to think about colour outside the box. Because our play sessions, we're looking at film and pattern, and we're looking at observing those colours and details, and then looking at paint chips and how you can kind of work the two together.
I absolutely love a workshop. I love going and doing workshops. And obviously I want to learn a lot from them, but I feel like just for our own mental health at the moment, it's just really nice absorbing yourself and in something and especially colour for kind of 1 or 2 hours. And that's also what we want people to come away feeling energized, but just being able to concentrate on something and switch off from daily life.
Amazing.
So hopefully it ticks both
sign me up.
Go on tonight.
We've got one.
So do you hold them, are they kind of in various locations, just so our listeners can understand?
Yeah, we've had a couple at Mud Australia on Upper Street in Islington, at the Hoxton Hotel in Bruton in Somerset. So we try and kind of divvy it up between Somerset and London, and host it at places that are, exciting in themselves and that are central.
And we also work in-house in company, so trade. So if somebody wants to invite us in to do something for the people they work with, or maybe their team, or say they're a furniture company and they want to invite architects to come along and do something a bit convivial, then we can do that as like a sort of thing they can do in-house.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, brilliant. We're on to our final question. And I think it's probably something that our listeners would very much kind of like to hear about. The future of colour. Where do we go from here?
Well, we're really happy that people are finally kind of talking about colour in. Obviously, it's it's decorating in a sense, but I think it's being taken a little bit more seriously, which I think we're really happy about.
Yeah.
Especially kind of biophilic design, bringing nature into the home, which at the moment I think we all need, those grounding kind of colours and things. And also we kind of touch on neurodiversity and trying to create and curate colour designs that help, people through their workspaces and also in their homes. So yeah, I think
Touching on what Despina said earlier about the physical response to colour as well, is that it's been proven through research and studies that colour can make you sleep better, reduce your heart rate. It can completely change your physical being, and that's because you're responding to the energy from the colour, the waves, the light waves, the light coming off the colour.
incredible.
So these studies involve people blindfolded, so they're not even seeing the colour.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the heart rate reduces. So I think that sort of shows how important the colour that we are living with and surrounding ourselves by, what that can do.
Yeah.
And I think we're really only at the beginning of understanding that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Our mental health. There's so much information, and the public is responding to the sort of rise in neurodiversity, or just our understanding of neurodiversity. So Desmond and I are really interested in understanding more about this field, and hopefully designing some colour palettes that can assist that.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Brilliant. Oh gosh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So watch this space then.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
I've said it now.
yeah. It's been
Gotta do
recorded.
it.
it's on record.
Thank you. That was very insightful. But before we go,
Yeah.
we'll do a quick fire round. Make it a
Great.
bit fun. Okay. First up, the first colour you both loved as a child.
Yellow.
Silver.
Oh, hello! Wow. Any
that's
reason? Any
unexpected.
memories relating to
Did you
it?
cover something in tinfoil?
I just remember I was
Blue
more,
Peter.
I was
Yeah.
the metallics.
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, brilliant!
That's
Okay,
great.
but-
That was
both
really boring.
both very different.
Optimistic. Yellow is
Optimistic.
optimistic.
Little sunbeam. Yeah.
A colour that you both can't live without.
We chatted about
We
this.
chatted about this, and because colour trends are a bit fleeting, we have been there, but I think kind of clay whites.
Yes.
Me.
And I said stone whites because
Yeah, really exciting.
I know it's a boring answer,
But-
but if honestly, just the right white is essential.
Yeah. Same.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What about ones you hate?
Oh,
It's a
We're
strong
exactly
word.
the same on
Oh,
this.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, which is probably
Teal.
one. Yeah, teal.
Teal.
Oh, no, not for you.
No.
Big no.
But even when it was, quite trendy back in the
No.
day. Okay, fair
No,
enough.
I've never liked
Absolutely
teal,
not.
and also apparently you're going to see us start looking
Yeah,
at a lot more teal,
unfortunately.
which we're in fact two of our worst colours.
But if you love it, we're
Yeah,
there
great.
for
If you
We're
love
there
it, we
for
love
it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think purple was
Purple.
another one.
There are
But then
different shades of purple.
Yeah,
We're
actually-
talking like
a lovely
Royal.
lilac, a lovely earthy lilac is gorgeous.
Yes.
But yeah.
we're talking that purple. When you say purple, what you
think
is
of.
purple,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
the real purple.
And what about colours that you think are underrated?
Oh,
Yeah, we also had a conversation about this. Probably like an orange hue,
Okay.
a grounded orange.
yeah,
I'd
not
say.
too red.
Not too red, not too vibrant. So I don't think tangerine.
No.
Talking a bit more brown, because it goes with every other colour.
Yeah, it's very unexpectedly goes with a
Yes.
lot.
Oh,
of
Very
colours, yeah.
versatile. It goes with blue and red and just loads of colours. Yellow.
Yeah, and it can change a palette quite a lot.
Yes.
From being really classic to quite contemporary, which is
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can use it subtly. You can use it in a space to activate a space quite quietly. You don't have to do a whole room in it.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
really
that's
good
what
to
I
know.
would
Oh,
say.
actually, I've never thought about it. Now I am.
Marmalade-y.
Lovely. And one more question: colour in style and fashion. How? I mean, when I was getting ready this morning, I thought, is this an appropriate colour to wear today? When I'm talking about colour, it's great. But I suppose, how does colour mimic someone's personality, or does it mimic someone's personality? Do you think, or is it kind of?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think people tend to. So yeah, sometimes I think people wear brighter colours are more in tune, and they would be more kind of
It's expressive,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. They express themselves through
Yeah.
colour in furniture and textile and tile, you know, and surfaces. Yeah, for sure. In some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I deliberately, when I go to a client meeting and we're looking at colours within their space, I deliberately don't wear saturated colours.
Okay.
Because
It's quite distracting,
it's very
isn't it?
distracting, and I don't want them to feel influenced by like my bright red jumper or my yellow hat, or you know, not that I have a yellow hat,
So
but
wow.
whatever, you know, my yellow socks. I think it's important to stay really like, you know, the grey, black, white, navy blue jeans. I just think it's better if you are out of the picture.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's going back to your question. I think that's because I know colour can influence people. So yeah, I definitely think that.
Ladies, thank you.
Thanks so
That
much
has
for
been
having
absolutely
us.
fabulous. We've all loved listening to it. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can find out more soon.
Definitely.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.